You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I hate you. The worst. You ready for real?
Hi, I'm Toni Heath.
Well, I gotta say my thing, then you say your thing.
Why? Fuck you, I'm going first. Hi, I'm Toni Heath.
I'm Joe Heath.
Oh shit, now I have to say. And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon. Now do a joke, funny boy!
Daleks! I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But see, if I'd known I was going to be doing, I would have prepped.
You wanna do second take?
Sure, but let me think of a joke first.
Hi, I'm Toni. Hi, I'm Toni Heath.
And I'm Joe Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
I guess you gotta listen to it. You want to do the next bit? I don't have that written because I know it, because I do it every time.
Today we're going to be talking about Is this right? That's not right.
Oh shit, you're right. I forgot to put in the titles.
Today we will be talking about the 4th and 5th episodes of the 3rd season of Doctor Who, Daleks in Manhattan, and Evolution of the Daleks. I said Manhattan weird.
Manhattan?
Manhattan.
And then what else do you say?
And they aired from April 21st, 2007 to April 28th, 2007.
35!
Those are weirdly in time. It's April
14th. Pretty close. Yeah, it's April 14th. If you're listening to this on release date, you'll realize how quickly I had to edit this thing.
We're behind in production. Isn't that fun?
It's not fun for me. You don't have to worry about it.
No.
You know what would help if I didn't fuss around so much in the podcast.
That is an option available to you.
Yeah, but I like the fussing around. That's fun. I like fussing around with you. Let's just stop doing Doctor Who and let's just do fussing around with Joe and Toni.
God, here's the thing. I don't enjoy those podcasts.
You don't enjoy those podcasts?
I recently
went when it's just two people talking about whatever?
I don't enjoy them.
Yeah.
I recently went on to a conference, and so it was a 3-hour drive there and back. And I listened to a bunch of disappointing podcasts.
I think it depends on who the people are. I've listened to a lot of podcasts that are just two people, and they're fine. They're good. They're fun, but they have to be funny. They have to be legitimately funny and not. And
Bad news for us.
They both have to be funny. And it can't just be the other one going, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That is
yeah.
Genuinely, that is one of the podcasts I ended up listening to because it was on a topic. Basically, I use podcasts as, I can't read Wikipedia and drive. And so I, found a thing that I wanted to learn about. But it was one person explaining the Wikipedia article and the other person going, wow.
That's interesting.
And the whole time, legitimately the whole time I was driving home, I was like, Am I the wow person?
Who are you in this relationship?
I was the whole time I was driving home. I'm like,
are you the wiki explainer or the wow person?
No, because you do the summary, and so I think I am just the oh.
Yeah, but you also, I will do the basic plot structure stuff, and then you'll come in and be like, say something very profound and deep and thoughtful. And I'm just jokes and jizz, I haven't said jizz on this podcast in a long time.
You need to get it all out now.
Yeah, I gotta get all my jizz.
Maybe we should start the episode.
Let's cancel this podcast and let's just start just jizzing with Joe and Toni.
Let's not do that. Let's instead give a summary of the 2 episodes of Doctor Who that we are talking about today.
Okay, so I have a serial title for this, as well as different titles for the individual episodes, because I think the individual titles for the episode are almost good, but they're not quite good. So, my title for the serial overall is Empire of the Daleks. What do you think of that title? I think that makes an amount of sense because it's about the Empire State Building.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They are taking over the Empire State Building. It's the Empire of the Daleks.
You know what I have to say about that?
What?
Huh.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
I got distracted because I just saw my hair on the webcam and I don't know what's happening there.
This is why you have to subscribe to our Patreon to see Tony's wild ass hair. Not Tony's ass hair. Tony's wild dash ass hair.
So sorry. Continue?
Okay, so episode 1, which was originally called Daleks in Manhattan, should be Daleks Take Manhattan, because that's the Muppets movie.
Okay.
The Doctor and Martha go to New York City in 1930. They investigate disappearances from Hooverville, a tent city, and wind up being hired by a Mr. Diagoras to work in the sewers, along with Solomon, Hooverville's leader, and Frank, a Spider-Man. Frank is caught by pig people while everyone else escapes into a theater where they meet a showgirl named Tallulah, whose boyfriend Laszlo has also gone missing, and who eventually turns out to be one of the pig people.
Can I ask you an important question?
Yeah.
During how much of this did you have Spider Pig stuck in your head?
About 25%, maybe. Not that much.
Okay.
Turns out the Daleks are turning people into pigs and have taken over construction of the Empire State Building. One of the Daleks also merges with Mr. Diagoras and becomes a human-Dalek hybrid. And that is the end of episode 1. Episode 2, which was originally called Evolution of the Daleks, should be called Evolution of a Dalek. Because only one of them... There's only one of them.
Just one of them grows up.
One of them grows up. So, the Daleks attack Hooverville, kill Solomon, and take the Doctor hostage. The Daleks have collected a bunch of people to make more hybrids using energy from an upcoming solar flare that will strike their Dalekanium-enhanced Empire State Building. That later becomes lightning for some reason. Anyway, the main hybrid starts to show emotions, and the Doctor agrees to help him make these new emotion-filled hybrids. But the other Daleks don't like this and try to replace the human DNA entirely with Dalek DNA, but some of the Doctor's DNA gets in there due to the lightning strike, and the hybrids kill the Daleks. So the last Dalek kills them all and shifts out of there. The Doctor cures Laszlo from dying, but not from being a pig boy. Then the Doctor and Martha leave. And that is my not quite brief summary of these 2 episodes. What did you think of my summary? Did I cover everything? Did I get everything?
Yeah, that's more or less it.
I think this serial, I'm calling it a serial because it's a 2-parter. I guess I could just call it a 2-parter. Has too much stuff going on in it. And I don't know what needs to go.
I think I was surprised on a rewatch that there were more parts of it that I liked than I remembered, because the thing that I do remember is that there being too many parts that don't all fully fit together.
I don't think this is a good pair of episodes, but I can't put my finger on what exactly is wrong with them.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I was surprised watching it back to be like, actually, there's like some interesting ideas here. There's some good stuff. There's more, like the characters I like more than I remember. There's just something, I don't know, something about it that falls kind of flat.
I do know there are some things that don't work, I think. I like Tallulah, but I do not like Laszlo.
Really?
I think Laszlo is the flattest actor in the entire thing. Everything he says with the same pitch, and I don't know. He's very boring for like the Beauty and the Beast aspect of this thing. He's very bland.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be mysterious and I guess romantic, and you're supposed to be sad when he's dying, but I just don't care.
How important are the pigs? Like, at all?
Yeah, I don't think they're important at all.
We could probably... There's too many pieces. That's a part that can go. I don't really know what they're...
They are just for the Daleks to experiment on so that they can figure out how to evolve themselves. That's the point of them. But if you remove them, then Hooverville becomes entirely pointless as well. Because that's the beginning of this thing, is people are disappearing from Hooverville.
Yeah, but
they don't need
to be pigs. Yeah.
They don't need to be pigs. No, they can just be the bodies that...
The bodies that the Daleks are experimenting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like he says the dumb ones become pigs and the smart ones become fodder for being.
Right, and it's like, why?
Yeah, and also why is he a different pig person than the rest of them?
Am
Every
I
single other
missing-
pig looks the same.
Am I missing a metaphor or something? Or...
I don't know. I think they wanted there to be some sort of, I don't know. They wanted that love story in there, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I do like Tallulah. I like Tallulah a lot, but I don't care about the Beauty and the Beast thing at all. It doesn't help that, like, she's kind of like, oh, you're a pig boy. I guess we're done, because you look weird.
That is somehow always, like, a thing in media where it's like, but I'm hideous, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's so rude.
You wouldn't love Laszlo if he was a worm?
Yeah. You'd love me if I was a worm.
Yeah, but
Would you love me if I was a pig boy?
I'd love you if you were a pig boy. Like, if you're still, like, able to communicate.
Okay, what if I was a human-sized worm with vocal cords?
I'd still love you. It'd be a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. How slimy are you?
Just normal slime? Just normal slimy?
I don't know what normal slimy is, but okay.
I don't think worms are slimy, are they?
Oh, yeah. They're slimy?
They're wriggly, maybe, but
no,
not
they're
slimy.
They're slimy. You ever gone fishing?
Yeah.
You gotta pick up a worm and it's all gooey and gross? Even before you poke it with the hook. It's disgusting. Why do we do? Why? I hate fishing. It's just gross and boring.
I really like parts of fishing, except for but the fishing part is not one of them. I like having a beer by the lake.
Oh, I don't like beer, so I don't get anything.
Yeah.
I used to just read. Anyway, another thing that I don't think works about this episode, I love Andrew Garfield.
He's
a great Spider-Man. He's great in so many things.
And sometimes you don't have a skill, and then later you work on it, and then you have that skill.
Yeah, his American accent as Spider-Man, great.
Really good.
His accent as this boy from Tennessee, whoo, it's bad. It's bad. Maybe that's what people from Tennessee sounded like in the 1930s, but I kind of doubt it. It's bad. It is not a good, but it is interesting watching this from the viewpoint of now, because, like, he was nobody at that point.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who Andrew Garfield was.
Yeah.
Like, I watched the making of, he's not interviewed. They don't talk about him at all in the, like, Doctor Who Confidential. Like, that's fucking Spider-Man. Not
yet.
Not yet. Everybody else, like, Tallulah gets talked about. The Pigboy gets talked about. Solomon gets talked about. Frank?
Solomon is a good character that I, did not remember.
Well, it's because he gets, killed off at the beginning of episode 2.
Yeah.
And then just isn't a part of it anymore. I liked him, too. Maybe a little, what's the word, ham-fisted?
Yeah.
We are introduced to Solomon breaking bread in half between, there's these people fighting over a loaf of bread, and he breaks it in half and gives them each one half of it. That's just a reference to Solomon from the Bible, though not quite, because that was a baby, not bread, and he didn't actually split the baby.
not splitting the baby in half was an important part of it.
But yeah, I do really like we are down here in this tent city. All of us are suffering from this depression, and yet they're building the biggest fucking thing.
Yeah.
Within eyesight, this huge Empire State Building. Then the juxtaposition of those two things, I think, is interesting. So they don't do anything with that.
That's what I mean. There are more interesting pieces than I remember. It's just that none of those pieces are connected to each other.
Because, the idea that, there are people, blowing money on this thing while people are suffering, turns out to be pointless because it's not people, it's Daleks. And then they pivot completely from this, ooh, what if Daleks became better people because of humans? Which I don't fully buy either, because he merges with Mr. Diagoras, who has been exploiting these people.
Right, who sucks.
Why is the Dalek suddenly got a conscience because he's been, merged with this asshole? It doesn't really track.
Yeah.
If he merged with Tallulah or something, or Frank, or Solomon, sure. But he merged with, a mafia boss.
Somebody who was already
corrupt.
Working, like, who saw no problem with, like, working with the Daleks and how they were working.
Yeah, turning people into pig slaves. He's cool with all that. So it doesn't make sense that suddenly the Dalek, I forget which Dalek it is, they all have names, but Sek? Dalek Sek merges with him, and then suddenly he's like, oh, maybe we should be kind to the humans and broker peace, and it doesn't track.
I do like his perspective, though, which is the humans are always there.
You mean why they're doing this?
Why
they're evolving the Daleks?
No, I mean, why Sek is like,
we are dying out. The humans always
always evolve. The humans always survive. They have they have this survival instinct because they can grow and change, which gives them an advantage that we don't have. Yeah. That is an interesting idea.
I think, though, again, I don't think it should have been Mr. Diagoras. I don't know how you fix this, but I feel like you gotta consolidate a lot down to make this work.
Yeah.
But there are, like, so many pieces that I feel like if you took one out, it also collapses. Because, like, yeah, you're like, get rid of the pig people. But then, like, well, I guess, yeah, like you said, they're harvesting the body. So that could work.
Yeah. The pig people is really just we want to have a prosthetic. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Also, we want to have a monster, but one that's kind of low-key.
I will say, like, the first episode is better than the second episode. The second episode is largely just very long scenes of talking. The Doctor and Dalek Sek having their philosophical discussions, which is, again, kind of interesting, but also, like, pivots away from everything that's happened before it.
Yeah.
And also gets really boring after a while.
You think so?
I think so, because it's like, okay, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
The plot isn't moving at all, because he has to just explains their entire thing that they're doing, has to get the Doctor convinced to help him, and it just tracks on and on and on. There needed to be some trimming. It did not need to be a two-parter. I think that's the biggest problem, is it did not need to be a two-parter.
Yeah. Question for you.
Yeah.
Outside of Spider-Man's accent.
I'm from Tennessee!
Can you give me just a little bit more of that?
Y'all?
Thank you.
That's a little more.
That's just a little bit more, which is precisely what I ordered. How do you feel about the portrayal of America?
I mean, honestly, we don't get to see a whole lot of it. I think Solomon's really good. We only really get to see Solomon and Frank and Tallulah and Laszlo and Diagoras and the men working on the Empire State Building who don't want to do the work at night because it'll be cold and windy and they'll fall off and die, which is understandable. I feel very broad. Like, Mr. Diagoras is, like, stereotypical, like, mob boss character. The workers are, like, very stereotypical, I'm doing a job here, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you who's really running this. Italians? You know, that was the one. Remember that joke?
I like that joke.
They're from, like, out of town or something. Like, Italians? We don't really get to see any of the people in Hoovertown other than Solomon and Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And Solomon he's, like, running the whole thing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even really get to see, like, necessarily how things are bad for them. I mean, they live in these tents, but that's about it. We don't get to learn anything about, like, what they've left behind. We don't really hear much about their struggles. We just know they're struggling. That's it. We don't get any backstory on anybody.
I was gonna say, do you think it would be a stronger story if we spent more time, like, in Hooverville?
Yeah. You know what I think? I think if you get rid of the stupid pig stuff, get rid of Laszlo, have it be Tallulah and Frank. And, like, that's also, like, a good clash of, like, you've got, like, the people in Hooverville,
mm-hmm.
and then you've got, like, these Tallulah, who's, like, a showgirl at, like, a fancy... People are spending money on this, like, big, showy, fancy thing. That could be a nice contrast, too. So, like, merge those two elements together a little bit. They're kind of too separated. Other than that one line about, you know, we're down here and they're making this Empire State Building. That's pretty much the only thing that really happens with it necessarily. I feel like they don't go into it enough because I think they get too sidelined with the sci-fi what if a Dalek but good stuff, which doesn't tie in with it very well.
How successful do you think, though, that part of it, that aspect of it was?
Which aspect?
The Dalek kind of Dalek sec. Because you didn't watch this when it aired.
No.
People fucking hated him.
I don't hate him. I think there's interesting ideas. I don't think it's a terrible performance.
I think people really
don't like
the design. Yeah.
The dick tentacles.
Yes.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, he does have a very soft, weird voice. But I kind of dig that. Okay, here's my pitch for how to fix this.
I'm listening.
Tallulah's dating Frank. The character. Maybe recast him. Or just have Andrew Garfield do a better voice.
Just steal Andrew Garfield from the future.
Steal Andrew Garfield from the future. You've got a TARDIS. You can do it. Have him be in a relationship with Tallulah. And then have him be the one who merges with Dalek Sec.
Okay.
The humanity would make more sense than just this random mob boss guy. And then also you would have like more emotional stakes because that's Tallulah's boyfriend. And it's a character that we know better and care about. Because that would be emotionally gripping if like, oh no, this character I like is being taken over by a Dalek. Because we don't care about Mr. Diagoras.
Right.
So that's how I'd fix it. What do you think?
I think it's a start.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if you can save this, but that would be a step in the right direction, I think. I do like the musical number. That's fun.
Already don't remember.
You put the devil in me. They're all dressed like angels?
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. Are they all dressed like angels or are they all dressed like demons?
They're all dressed like demons, and she's dressed like an angel.
Yeah, that's it. She literally growls that line. I didn't catch that until I was making the GIFs. Like, that's good. It's all nicely choreographed. I don't know what the fuck Martha was thinking when she, like, fucking walks out on stage. She sees Laszlo, and instead of going around backstage,
the sides of backstages are connected by space. There's never a scenario where you have to walk out onto stage.
And she's like hiding behind him and knocking him over. I'm like, Martha, what the hell?
Go around.
Yeah, what do you think about Martha in this episode? She doesn't really get to do much.
I was going to say, what about Martha in this episode? She's in it, I think.
She becomes a murderer? That's a thing they play with? Because they set up that, again, they say that, like, there is what is it? I forget, a solar flare coming. That they're waiting for that to strike. But then it becomes just a lightning storm.
The effect is definitely just lightning.
But anyway, she sets out this elaborate, like, metal poles thing up to the elevator where the pigs are coming up. And the lightning strikes the doctor who's on the thing. Because he's trying to get the Dalekanium. Because they install Dalekanium on the top of the Empire State Building. He's trying to get that off. He gets struck by lightning, and then the thing gets struck by lightning, and it kills the pig people. And then Martha's like, those used to be people, and I killed them. And then that's it.
We don't have any time to process or think about that.
The end. See, maybe they could have done something like that, but with Frank Dalek.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a case of, like, you had a simple story, and then you're like, and it's got to be 2 episodes. And then you're like, oh, shit.
Here's some stuff to put in it.
I'm pretty sure Tallulah and Laszlo were not in the original concept of the story. I think maybe that would have been better.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to say. I've hit all my notes. Do you have anything?
Honestly, no.
It's not a great one, gang. Well, we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back for final thoughts, which I feel like we said it all. But anyway, here's an ad.
There are a lot of great podcasts that review Doctor Who episodes in order. The Earth Station Who podcast is not one of them. Just like the Doctor, we never know where or when we'll end up, but we'll have a lot of fun talking about it. From classic Who to new series and big finish, join the Earth Station Who crew wherever fine podcasts are found. Earth Station Who is a founding member of the ESO Network.
And we're back.
Joe, do you know what time it is?
It is 7:40 p.m. What a great bit.
First of all, I should clarify.
Uh-huh.
It's not a bit. However, what time in the podcast is it?
30 minutes and 10 seconds.
God.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe we've talked this much.
But what do we do now?
We talk about Doctor Who.
Wait, what?
We talk about Doctor Who. We're just We're just talking about Doctor Who.
Oh, I know.
We're talking about Daleks in Manhattan and evolution of the Daleks.
Right, but it's time for...
Bed.
It doesn't go on this long.
I know, but I gotta make up for all the times you've done it to me.
All right, this is it. This is the one. Are you ready?
Oh, it's time for final thoughts.
Oh.
My final thoughts are, this was not great. I don't think it's as terrible as it's known to be. I think individual parts are okay. They just don't gel together well. And it didn't need to be 2 episodes. If it had been 1 episode, I think you could salvage this and make something good out of it. I think you just need to hit the themes harder instead of it gets real sidetracked real easy.
You need to explore fewer ideas deeper.
More thoroughly, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but it's not one I'm gonna pop on again anytime soon. So, what are your final thoughts?
Yep. No, I mean, I was surprised because it does kind of have, I think, a reputation of being a bad serial. And I think I was surprised rewatching it of being like, oh, it's not bad, it's just not good. So I have a more nuanced take on it than I had before. But I do think that, ultimately that all of that adds up to it not being particularly memorable.
So, that's it. Anything we need to plug before we go?
If you want to follow me on Instagram or on Blue Sky, I am Forward Power, and that's FWDPWR. Yeah, give me a follow. We do have a trailer that we just released.
Yes, a teaser and a trailer.
For
Unconventional, the Timegate / Wholanta story.
So that's something that we've been working on with
R. Alan Seiler and Brandon Reed.
So the trailer just officially launched, and now we got to get to work on editing it.
Yeah.
But it's been cool. It's been very fun. And so yeah, give that a watch.
Thon of Rassilon. I'm Minty Pineapple everywhere. Also, I want to say you can go to infinityflux.net and you can buy my new comic books. I've collected some of my comic book stories into 3 new comic books that you can own physically. Physical.
They look great.
They look rad as hell. There's Maritime Tales, Cat Tales, and there's another one that's a flip comic that is Tales from Die Noon and Tales from the Kitchen. That's a horror comic. Horror comic, a cat comic, and then just a comedy one. So check those out at infinityflux.net. You can just search my name on there and you should be able to find them, or search Minty Pineapple maybe. I also want to say that on Minty Pineapple at mintypineapple.com/consume, I've got a new series up and running of articles where I'm going through all of comic book media in order. It's called Consume All Media. So that's been going for about a month. By the time this goes out, all of the Adventures of Captain Marvel will be up. So go check that out and stick around for more 1940s content. You like old shit, you're listening to this, go check that out. But if you liked this episode of the podcast, you can check out more on watch-a-rassilon.com. You can also find our podcast, our Patreon, and more at linktree/Watch-A-Thon. I also want to give a special shout out to Vince and EL for providing us with our amazing theme song.
Thank you, Vince.
Check out more of their music at vincentel.bandcamp.com. And tune in next time when we talk about just another great one, guys. The Lazarus Experiment.
Oh, is this season
bad? Hey, spoilers for our thoughts, I guess. Wait, do you got to do it this time?
Until then, keep calm and Rassilon.
Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic parasocial way.
I gave mine my best radio voice. I think you've got to give a really pukey take.
Oh wait, I got to do it like you do it.
Yeah.
That's it. I thought I did like you did it. Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic parasocial way.
That was better.
Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic parasocial way.
In a world.
Oh boy. Tennessee. You're the only 10 I see. Wank.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.